All right, guys, this video is for my fellow leather workers who either own or are looking at purchasing and owning this Creaser Embosser made by Master Tools by Weaver, available at Weaver Leather Supply, right? Great tool. If you're interested and don't have it, go to Weaver and check it out. It's definitely worth having if you are doing a large volume of embossing or just want to make your ability to crease and emboss easier. Okay, so, and Weaver already has great videos on this guy that really show you the general terminology, upper arm, lower arm, etc., terminology, and how to use it. Okay, so if you need to know or want to see how it works in general, then go check out those videos. They're great. They tell you what you need to know as far as that stuff goes. I'm here to make this video to cover a little bit of what I wish I had known at the time I purchased the machine. Just a little bit of a thing that would help, okay? And then show you how to do a slight adjustment to the machine if it is ever a little bit out of alignment as far as the upper and lower arms go, okay? I'll tell you what we'll explain what I mean here in a moment. Okay, so here are two creasing wheels that you can purchase, right? When you buy the machine, there are the accessories that will actually allow you to take this machine and put it to work, creasing and embossing. These are creasing wheels. They have a little flange already on each side. Very well made. They're great. Okay, and they come with white bottom roller wheels, okay, or you purchase them separately. In purchasing them separately, okay, it seems pretty clear cut, but it's a little bit tricky. Okay, so these bottom white roller wheels, they come in different widths, and those widths I think start at 5/8 and go up to 1.5 inches. And you'll see, though, that they are also available in different diameters. And the diameter for these ones are 2-inch. And the 2-inch ones work great if you are only going to be creasing. They work with these creasing wheels, right? The leather gets sandwiched in between there, and you're going to get a nice deep crease down each side of the strap piece that you are working, okay? Where it gets a little bit confusing is when you go to emboss. If you bought these to start out your work and then later go to buy stuff to do embossing, you need to know the importance of the difference in these diameters and that you actually will need the 2.5-inch diameter ones. It's going to save you some grief, okay? So here's what I mean. Having used this machine to crease things, I had the 2-inch diameter, 1.5 wide white roller wheels for the bottom. And I believe that, my embossing wheel is 1.5 inches wide, a little less than. And I have this inch, so that's going to work, right? That'll go there, and they're going to work great. However, you will also need to purchase, because the embossing wheels don't have side flanges, okay, you will need to purchase some flanges. Now, if you happen to have a very thin embossing wheel, the ones that you purchase from Weaver are all a little bit thicker, and some custom ones that I had them made to the same specs as the Weaver provided ones. Well, to get that to capture, you're going to need the 2-inch, 2 3/4-inch flanges, embossing flanges, they call them. Okay, you're going to need those because that's where you get the depth that you don't get out of the 2-inch flange and will actually sit down and allow you to capture the leather and keep it in line with your embossing wheel, get a nice straight embossing job done. Okay, here's the rub. Even when you put the correct embossing flanges together with a bottom wheel that's the correct width, if it is the 2-inch, combined with the 2 3/4 inch embossing flanges, trying to get all my terms correct, okay, then what happened to me was that in order to get the leather, pressing up so that I get a good deep embossing with the 2-inch diameter bottom wheel, I was having to bring the bottom arm up so far close to the upper arm that these 2 3/4 inch flanges were smashing into, you can see it right there, into the little retainment screw, this little Allen screw on this retainment collar that's on both sides. The bottom arm came up so close to the upper arm that as I would rotate, and you can see the damage here, these embossing flanges impacted and were really smashing into the retainment collars here, particularly that little screw that makes those collars stay in place. And what happened was it forced the bottom arm and the upper arm out of alignment, particularly where this outer edge was lower. They were spread apart. So there was a greater distance, right, between the outer side than the inner side. And the result, even after having corrected the problem, even after realizing, oh, that's why you need a 2.5 inch diameter, okay, this guy here, lower embossing, lower, what do they call it? A white roller. You need the 2 3/4 inch white roller. Okay, even after having corrected that adjustment was knocked out of alignment with each other. And so what I was getting was very poor embossing on the side farthest from the machine, and a fairly nice embossing on the side closest to the machine. And on some of the embossing patterns, wasn't a real big issue, because if it's a embossing pattern that's extremely symmetrical, you can take it and reverse it and run it back through. Still problematic on any embossing pattern that's very complicated, but it was doable. However, any pattern that wasn't symmetrical, and even though this pattern looks symmetrical, it's not, okay, you would just be stuck with this. And that is not the type of product that I want to put out there, okay, where you have a nice crease on one side, a nice embossing on one side, and poor embossing on the other side. No. So I began to look for a solution. I could not find in the manual for this guy anything about doing any adjustments to the machine. I couldn't find any videos. Here we are. Okay. I ended up calling Weaver and speaking with their tool guys, and they gave me the fix for it. So here we go. It was fairly simple and easy to do. So if this ever happens to you, where you're not getting a nice even embossing, then this is what you're going to want to look at. Okay, let's have a look. Okay, if we come to the side of this guy, what you have on the side, on the handle side, is you have a plate that is held in with some Allen screws. Okay, so you remove that clearly, and then this is what you're looking at inside. Okay, this guy right here, the one on the bottom. Okay, that is what needed to be adjusted. And so taking an open end wrench, this is a 7/16, okay, right on that guy, and adjusting up. So pulling this towards me this way, okay, that way. Okay, that is what adjusted the arm so that I was getting a now deeper embossing on this side, where this was the weak side. That, I guess, brings this side slowly up. Took quite a few turns, but now I'm getting a much better result. as you might see here. This is pretty satisfactory. Okay, looking pretty good. So that is how, if you're having an issue with one side of your embossing being deeper or better than the other side, then this is where you need to go. Okay? All right. Have at it. So having made that adjustment, now, this is, here's an example. You can see it's a nice, even imprint on both sides of the leather with one singular pass through the tool, through the machine, and looks great and feels good. Having made the adjustment, the arm feels a little bit not as smooth. When I do the rotation, you can kind of feel like gears in the machine turning, but I think it's going to be okay. We'll see in the long run how it goes. I don't use this machine constantly. In fact, since its purchase, I use it, I've used it actually, only a handful of times, but when you do want it and need it, it is a great machine. And hopefully that this video will help you understand some things better as you are looking at ordering it, or if you are having some issues with it, maybe this video helps you correct some things. So, thank you for watching. Please do. I haven't made a habit of doing this in my videos, but like every video you see on YouTube, at the end, I should get in the habit of encouraging you. Please smash that like and particularly the follow button. It does take time to stop in the middle of a workday. I'm a single man shop, retired firefighter, trying to crank out some products and some good things for you. But I like to stop in the middle of the day here and there and make some videos that I think will help fellow leather workers, fellow peers in the business, and also make videos to show off the products. But if you will hit that follow button, that truly does help, right? A long-term goal would be to have a popular enough channel that we can monetize, get a little bit of passive income coming in retirement. Would be amazing and helps out a ton. Doesn't cost you anything. Hit that follow button, and I'll try and keep the tips and helpful videos coming.